I don't know why it's so weird to introduce yourself.
Okay, don't introduce
No,
yourself.
it's fine. My name's Dave McCoy. I own Emerald Water Anglers here in Seattle. The idea of opening a retail store, I remember moving to Seattle and I wanted nothing to do with owning a retail store. I knew that for a fact. And yet here I am. In this day and age, particularly at this given time, mid to late March of 2020, and we've got this pandemic rolling around and hysteria and panic and misinformation and all that stuff. It's like a ghost town around here. And I just, I've been trying to exude a positive demeanor through all of our social channels and with the people that I talk to when they come in and see them on the street. And the bottom line is go back to the life that you were living a month ago before this became ground zero and, you know, critically look at those things that you valued in your life that made your life rich. And those are the things that you want around when we come out the other side of this. And the only way that that's going to happen is for people to, when possible, when they can, if they can, continue to support those small community businesses that bring that vibrancy to their life. Because in a month, 2 months, we come out of this, there will be a lot of these gone and they won't come back for a long time. So it's imperative that we pay attention and spend our dollars local, period. This space came about because my daughter went to school 3 blocks from here. So it was going to be, I was driving by it as this building was being built. And at first, a store was a way to give employees that I valued dearly a year-round job, a place that they could actually hold all year, be in our industry in this area all year. It started as that, and then what I realized was that West Seattle as a community, I don't want to say it wasn't active, but like there was definitely a niche not being filled as far as outdoor activism and helping people have conduit to the outdoors through fly fishing as a vehicle, but having that expand very quickly into photography and water awareness for conservation and cleanliness and our overall health, and salmon that are so vital to the iconic to the people of this region. So now like we host events here all the time, educational based events where NGOs come in and talk about stuff that are important to all of us: trees, water, fish, pollution. We host storytelling nights and book reading nights where authors come in and not give you the how to rig a nymph rig, but come in and give you a slice of life in person that they've written and are able to provide that background context and infuse it with their emotion in a way that you can never get when you're just reading something. And it is unbelievable to watch the response of people when they get to see that. I mean, it's an old school poetry reading, but it hasn't been done really like this for a long time. And it's, one of my staff, Jason, came up with that concept, and it's, to this day, it's still my favorite thing that we do. And we have people from the community come in all the time for that don't fly fish, because it's become a part of what they really enjoy about us being here, about what we bring to the table and in that respect, and certainly how we outwardly feel about the environment that we're relying upon for our business. So it's more important than I think we're more important in the community than I ever had hoped or anticipated we would be when we started. Earliest memories of fly fishing. Every member of my family fly fished, so I really don't believe I had any choice in doing this for a living, because I have pictures of me at age 2.5, holding my grandfather's bamboo fly rod, but I believe some of my favorite memories are ones where my dad really wanted his son to pick up exactly what he really loved. So fly fishing was something that during the summers we just did constantly. So we'd go to the lakes outside of Eugene, like Davis Lake and Crane Prairie and stuff like that. And Dad would push the boat off the trailer and leave me in it and tell me to get the oars into the boat and row down along the campground to find out where our camp spot was. And it's not exactly fly fishing, but obviously being on the water and watching my dad fly fish during that time was clearly influential, to say the least. When I started the business prior to the store and was just guiding, the first thing you realize is, as a guide, you don't have the luxury to be in two places at once. And so in the early onset, it was, I'd have a trip booked for tomorrow, the phone would ring, and someone would want a trip tomorrow. So the first thing I had to do was find somebody else to guide with me in a city that had no guide services. Like, there weren't just guides laying around looking for work or working for other people. There weren't any, really. So I had to find that first, and then when I found that, then you're managing people, and that's something that, regardless of how much schooling you have, until you're put in a position to do it, managing people to the expectations that you hold for your business is maybe the most difficult part of running a business, period. Money is money, and figuring out how to monetize everything you do and pencil out your expenses and fit it into profits and stuff like that's accounting. That's not running a business. Running a business is doing something so that among all the choices out there, people are compelled to choose you and your business for reasons that will make them drive across a city with the second worst traffic in the country to come see you versus other people. And that's hard. I mean, hard's an understatement. I love watching our staff go through that learning process that I went through. When I moved here, after I was managing a handful of guides, I called my two former employers down in Colorado and apologized for being such an asshole to work for them. And fortunately, I left on good enough notice that they both laughed, thanked me for the apology and recognition that I was such a pain in their butt, but laughed. And so I guess I light up watching my current employees see where I am often right when they maybe didn't want to believe that or believe it at first. But the other side, the real reason that we're here is watching how this sport can really drive a wedge into people's soul and start roots that will stay there forever. And I know it sounds corny because we want to talk about how many fish we got and how early we were up and how late we stayed out and how big they were and all this. And the reality of it is, all the times that I sit in the shop and all of the travels that I do and all of the people I have the luxury of spending time around, I would say it's less than 1% of the time that we're talking and bantering back and forth that the fish is actually the topic of the conversation. It's everything that surrounds that fish. And seeing that and hearing that from our customers and clients and, quite frankly, who are now friends, it's very soulful. I love that. That's why I'm doing this now. I guess the way I approach my business is, take the fly box, for example. You choose what boxes to carry for reasons, and generally the reasons that we carry certain boxes, obviously, to perform a task within the confines of our sport that suits our customers. And as utilitarian as that is, I would rather talk people through the idea of, do they really need the box? What purpose is the box serving? And let's choose the box, but let's talk more about what your grand plan is for your time on the water, and what does it mean? And then we'll come back and see if you even need the box, because I think a lot of times it definitely doesn't help my bottom line to tell people don't buy the box, stick 3 flies in the cuff of your shirt, and go be minimalistic about this. And the reason that I choose to have that conversation in sort of that way is to show a side of the sport that I don't think gets shown vibrantly enough by a lot of people in the industry, and that is that it's not about how you look and what you're using and so on and so forth. It's really about going out and creating an experience that brings you home at the end of the day or the end of the week or whatever, feeling refreshed, cleansed, touched. You created memories, and sometimes the memories are not what drove you out to do that experience. They're not about, you'll get skunked, you're not going to catch a fish, but you come back having spent your day in old growth forest, wading in streams you could drink the water straight out of the creek, pursuing a native species of fish that has never been tainted by a hatchery fish, so is as pure a piece of nature as the rest of that surrounds it. And I just really want people to delve that deep as quickly as they can, because I believe once you get there, the sport's in you forever, and you will do everything you can to affect the people around you with your enthusiasm and your passion, and they just don't take no for an answer. They're persistent in trying to exude that to the people that are willing to listen. That's what I want to be known for, is helping to facilitate that.